Look at those layers, layer of frosting, layers of cookie.
If you're looking for a snack to get you to the next meal, this is definitely gonna do it. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, and we're doing an inspiration recipe from Haley over at Hale's Kitchen. We're going to be doing a high-protein chocolate chip cookie cake. We've taken her original recipe, we've made it even more anabolic, and it is definitely going to be a snack that can replace a protein bar, any high-protein snack that you're currently having, and it will definitely be ideal for any weight loss plan, any main gaining plan, and definitely for any shredding plan. So with no further ado, let's get things started by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. Oat flour, vanilla-based casein protein powder, powdered peanut butter, baking powder, no sugar added applesauce, vanilla extract, unsweetened almond milk, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, swerve, granular, swerve, confectioners, fat-free Ready Whip, and no sugar added chocolate chips. And this is another one of those magical recipes where we're mixing together some dry ingredients, we're mixing together some wet ingredients, and we're combining the two for some anabolic deliciousness. So let's get things started here by mixing together our dry ingredients first. First dry ingredient is going to be 75 grams of oat flour. If you don't have oat flour and you want to make it at home, you just need a blender or a food processor. You measure out the amount of oatmeal for the amount of oat flour that you need. You hit blend. You got yourself some homemade oat flour. Here we have pre-made and on the money 75 grams of the oat flour. Next dry ingredient, we need 66 grams of our vanilla-based casein protein powder. I'll keep it simple. Don't use whey, don't use whey, don't use whey. Casein only. Don't ask in the comments. Casein only. 66 grams. Going in. Per usual, last gram, always fighting us, but we got it in. Then we kick up the sweetness with 20 grams of our Swerve granular. Then it's 32 grams of our powdered peanut butter. And our last dry ingredient here is going to be 4 grams of our baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. And after we have all those dry ingredients in our mixing bowl, the next step is to mix or sift them all together. And yes, I'm using a fork, not a sifter. But yes, I do have a sifter, but I'm using a fork. Broken record time. Don't sleep on the sifting. You want to make sure you get all of that baking powder mixed in with all of your other dry ingredients. And it just dawned on me, broken record. Do you kids even know what a broken record even is? Or am I dating myself there? Anyway, let me know in the comments section. Here we go, sifting done, dry ingredients done. Now we move on to the wet ingredients. First wet ingredient is going to be 111 grams of our no sugar added applesauce. And speaking of having to fight for each gram, there is exactly 111 grams in these containers, and man, you really gotta scrape it down to get it all out. Next wet ingredient is going to be 170 grams of our plain non-fat Greek yogurt, negative scale measuring system. And with that little bit left on the spoon there, we have 170 grams of the plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Exactly. Next, we need 4 grams of our vanilla extract. And after we have all those wet ingredients in there, the next step is to mix them up. And after you get all the wet ingredients to one uniform color, you are done mixing the wet ingredients. And be very careful, especially if you're wearing black. The Greek yogurt and combination of the other ingredients will splatter up on you if you're not too careful. So I guess the lesson learned here is when making this recipe, try not to wear black. But here we have our wet ingredients done. Now we're gonna add in our dry ingredients, which we'll do in 3 separate batches. Batch number 1. Batch number 2. And of course, batch number 3. And once you've mixed until you think you've mixed enough, and then you've mixed some more, you will get all of the wet ingredients and dry ingredients combined into one dough ball clump here. And we are done mixing. Next step is to fold in our chocolate chips. And for that, we will need 28 grams of our no sugar added chocolate chips. I was 2 over, but that's what you get when you're dramatic about adding in your chocolate chips. Then we just want to fold away. And once you get your chocolate chips well incorporated into your dough, we are done here. Next step is to go break this up into 3 separate dough balls, and we are going to get the baking process prepped and ready to go. Here we have 2 cookie sheets covered with parchment paper. We're going to make 3 chocolate chip cookie discs, if you will. And there just isn't quite enough space for at least one of my cookie sheets. So I'm going to put 2 on one on the other, and then we're gonna bake them up. So if you made it exactly the way I did, you're going to need about 160 grams for each cookie disc. And you can utilize your negative scale measuring system to make sure you have 3 evenly sized cookie discs. And the dough can get a little sticky, like most of our anabolic doughs can, so I recommend you dip your fingertips into some water, or you do our Mr. Miyagi. But I'm using the fingertip dip method here, so let's get it going. Pull out 160 grams, a little over, and that'll do. Like so. Put it on the dish or cookie sheet. Some of the chocolate chips will kind of fall off the dough when you're doing this and go back into the bowl. That's fine. We're accounting for the macros, and not only are we going to use them all, but we're going to make the top sheet look extra pretty. So when we're done making our discs, we're going to put those extra chocolate chips on top of one of the discs. Again, we've dipped the fingertips and we start making our discs. And once you've got yourself 3 mostly evenly sized discs, you are done, except for the last part. We're gonna pick one of the discs. I'm gonna choose this one, and we're gonna use our stray chocolate chips to put them around the top, just to, you know, aesthetics and to use up all the macros. And voila! Every time it gets me. We're done here making our discs. Now we can start baking, which we're gonna do at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius for 12 to 15 minutes, checking it along the way. Let's get baking. And while we're waiting for our cookie discs to bake up, why not get the frosting going now? I have our frosting camera position all set up and we're ready to get started. First ingredient we're going to put in is another 66 grams of our vanilla-based casein protein powder, the best protein powder to use for any frosting. Then 10 grams of our Swerve confectioners. We just want to give those two a quick mix, and greatly depending on which type of casein protein powder that you're using will greatly depend on how much almond milk that you use. For mine, 200 grams is perfect, but if you want to test it out, add in an initial 100 grams and then go up 25 grams from there to test yours out. Mine, I know, 200 is on the money. Pushing maximum fillage here, but we're gonna mix this up. Then to add to the creaminess, we're gonna use 10 grams of our fat-free Reddi-wip. And over the top of that is just a few drops, but no more than 5 of the vanilla extract. And one more mix. And we're probably gonna need a bigger bowl, but we didn't, we used this one. But here we go, frosting ready to go. Now we wait for our discs to finish baking up, add on the frosting, and you know where we're going next. Oh my goodness. I just took the cookie discs out of the oven after exactly 12 minutes, and I have not been excited about a recipe like this, I don't think, since my original chocolate chip cookie recipe. Do you want to see them? You want to see them. Let's have you see them. And as you can see, there are the 2 discs on one sheet and the 1 disc on, I guess, our aesthetic sheet. We are going to let these cool for about 10 minutes on a cooling rack, put on the frosting, and, well, you know the destination.
and we're back at the taste test table yet again to try another inspiration recipe, chocolate chip cookie cake. I mean, how can it be bad, right? Loaded with protein, super delicious, a great meal prep snack recipe to get you through the entire week, pretty much. 6 slices of cookie cake, super filling. These slices are quite dense, a lot more dense than your typical protein bar, that's for sure, and we'll get to in a second, but the macros, if they're not similar, they're better. But let's not go there yet because the macros can be great. They can look very nice from an aesthetics perspective. However, how does it taste? That's all that really matters. So with no further ado, we're going to dive right into our taste test. As you can see, I have cut myself out a slice. I will give you a close-up look as to what it looks like. There we have, I don't want it to slide off. Look at those layers, layer of frosting, layers of cookie. So amazing, oh my goodness. When I talk about density, it doesn't get any denser than this slice right here. So, like I said, we know it looks good, but let's find out if it tastes good. Of course, I already know that it does because I've already tried it. And first bite is the best bite with this one every time. Don't care what you say, I'm eating it upside down. Here we go. Delicious. The frosting is oozing out of the side. It's almost pure savagery to eat it with your hand like this. It's almost maybe a knife and fork recipe if we're being honest, but who's got time for that? Bite number 2. Oh, gotta lick the frosting. Bite number 2. Everybody's tongue leaks out. The chocolatey chippiness is unfounded. I do have frosting on my face this time. Yeah, the chocolate chippiness is unfounded anywhere in anything other than this. You can divide this up into 6 even slices. Like I said, definitely gonna get you through from meal to meal if you're using this as a snack. Heck, use it for a breakfast if you want. Maybe you can have 2 slices of it. You'll be well on your way to your protein goal having something like this. It's a chocolate chip cookie cake. It has more of a cake type texture, but not cakey or spongy like some protein recipes can be. This one here is spot on. Oh, so delicious. If you're more of a chocolate person, grab yourself some chocolate casein powder and go nuts. Everything else is the same. You're just changing up that frosting flavor to chocolate. Me, personally, more of a vanilla frosting kind of guy, but, you know, to each their own. Oh no, the mic's not in. My mic wasn't plugged in somehow on the transfer over. We lost the mic connection, but we're back in now. As I was saying, absolutely 100% deliciousness here. Loaded with protein, texture's on point, sweetness is perfect. If you're looking for a snack to get you to the next meal, this is definitely gonna do it. If you wanna have a dessert as a meal replacement, you could easily have 2 slices of these and they would be absolutely magnificent. A magnificent way to go on your nutrition journey throughout the day. Other than Oreos and donuts, which if you haven't seen the Oreo and donut recipe, you should definitely go check that one out. I'll link it in the description box below. Shameless plug there. But nonetheless, oh my goodness. Unbelievable amount of flavor in this. Words can't even describe how awesome it is. I'm a little more than halfway through here and I'm already starting to feel full. Been a while since I used that joke. I'll flash up the macros here so you can see exactly what's in it. Like I said, way more protein than you would think would be in a chocolate chip cookie cake. More than you might see for the same amount of calories in a protein bar, whether it be a Seco bar or an Anabar. Plus, if you're looking for a review on that, link in the description box down below as well. 2 shameless plugs today, don't usually do that, but there they are. Anyway, if you end up making this, please let me know in the comment section because I'd love to hear how it turned out for you. But it is getting to be about that time. I gotta get up out of here, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye.